What you look like? Why even play with your life? Bank account looking like yikes. The ops on IG all the time. I never go live. Wagyu steak, I dine. 8 ounce, 255. I can't get fucky with too groovy you me. If I ain't had love for me, I would've tried to get Nicki Minaj. Derek ain't gonna let you slide. Dory ain't gonna let you slide. You king of the city, I don't wanna be a big fish in a small pond. Trying to get across that water. I need fans in Vietnam. If you gotta hustle, but you can't stick to the grind, you wasting your time. I need a double a verse. I do it before FaceTime before I get to the club. Look at the line. Money ain't changed my heart, but I'm smarter. I guess it changed my mind. And I take care of my in prison. Don't think it's safe inside. I got that chicken to go. A lot of these look lost. They broke. They think it's my fault. No call. For real. I want that.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, Alex Smith on his third NFL team, the Washington Redskins, face off with Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thanks. We are across the Cumberland River from downtown Nashville at Nissan Stadium in Tennessee. This crowd here fired up for football as a moment ago their Titans were introduced. This should be a good one as the Titans get set to match up with the Washington Redskins. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we take a look at this Titan Ball Club entering play. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, it's been perfection so far. They come in here unbeaten at 14-0.
And just 2 wins away from doing something only 2 teams have ever done. But the most important thing for them now is to make it to the postseason in one piece.
52. 35.
The first carry for the rookie, it's Darius Geis. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. He probably feels like he cannot get a break. He was sacked 7 times last week. And here we go again in the first quarter.
And we always talk about the internal clock of a quarterback in the pocket and how he has to have a real keen sense of it in order to get rid of the football. After being sacked 7 times last week, that clock has been sped up.
A good return there, 17 yards. And it'll be Titan football. Mariota and the Titans break the huddle, 1st and 10 at the 45. Dion Lewis, the first carry for the expatriate. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Washington territory. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Now Lewis. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. Now, look, that wasn't a huge game, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched him more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, Got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Here's Mariota. Over the middle, Sharp's got it complete. And he'll go down at the 28. Mariota to Sharp that time for a Titan first.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance. They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Mariota. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Zach Brown. Coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now?
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
And he locates Walker, complete. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked #1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
He'll get it up the middle. Only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
3rd and goal. Mariota. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. In for the score. And the Titans have taken a first-quarter lead. Now, this is a crew. They've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed? That's caught inside the 20. A huge play there for Washington. 56 yards. And they better put that ball to the side because with that catch, he's a new single-season receiving yards record holder.
What a fantastic year. And we saw it start early, didn't we, partner? Right out of the gate, we knew he was going to have a tremendous year, but who knew it would culminate in breaking this all-time record.
On first down, this is Geis. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Here's Smith now on 2nd down. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Paul Richardson, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Redskins are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December. With the former Volunteer Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Titans with the football here to begin quarter number 2. They're up against a 3rd and 2 to start things out. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And Walker with it over the middle. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. A Titan first down, Mariota to Walker.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a
rush coming, and he's taken down.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Ryan Kerrigan in on the tackle.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
3rd and long here for Mariota. Dumps it off to Lewis. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got more.
And that's caught inside the 35. Big yardage that time for the Redskins. 49 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. They'll fake it. Now Smith. And now he'll tuck it and run. Even after more than a decade in the league, Smith still one to account for with his legs as he picks up a first.
Certainly making his presence felt in both the pass and the run game. He's having an impact.
Yeah, his first carry of the game right there. He had hurt him with his arm. Now he's showing that he can shuffle the puppies as well. Smith. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually, a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. And now running right through it. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal.
Nice move there by Darius Geis, and he got on my radar in 2016 when he was filling in a lot for Leonard Fournette because he had ankle issues at LSU. And the first time I saw him play, over 200 yards on the ground, a lot of long runs, but he also broke a lot of tackles as well. That's why people had him on their radar for this draft and think that he can be a featured runner, and Washington's counting on it. Just looking at it from a defensive perspective, when you break the huddle in the red zone, tight end is one of the guys you've got a key on because quarterbacks want the ball in their hands fast in this position, and they want to get it to someone. And in this case,
and he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Derek Morgan in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
Throwing is Smith. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Cyprien. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or a disaster, and here it was the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? You're exactly right. It takes a fortitude.
And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. Back to Tennessee after this. Second down, Mariota. And he will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Tajay Sharp, the intended target. And now it's third down.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. On third down, it's Lewis. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the Redskin defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And here come the Redskins now. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right?
No chance to get away there for Smith as he goes down. Daquan Jones. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. And that is incomplete. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Out of the gun, Smith. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down. Well, he's been the guy already over 100 yards here in the first half. Could have had a lot more if he would have been able to haul that one in.
Yeah, in fact, our statistician Marvin was already handing me a piece.
And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And this is caught. And the fake will work. He's going to have a first down. A big breakdown defensively there on the fake punt. Turns into a huge play and a first down.
Okay, that was a fake punt, and it was successful throwing the football. I know you threw the football in your past off of a fake.
Yeah, but unsuccessful back in my high school days. Old Tim Jones dropped it, hit him right in the numbers. But I'll tell you what, and this is caught. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Paul Richardson, his second TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Redskins are able to strike for 6.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory, just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk. This is a big decision here.
Mariota now on second down. Got the man right side. It's Sharp. Now Tennessee going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Mariota now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys a 1st and 10. Throwing is Mariota. That's brought in by Davis over the middle. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Mariota again. He sets to fire deep. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit. But over the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. First down, Mariota. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll throw again. Mariota. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Walker. And he's going to get this one down right to the edge of the red zone of the chalk of the 20. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Redskins who have the lead here. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Titans offense now, they get set to head back out here. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They go play action. Mariota. Incomplete to the tight end Walker, right side. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down. 5th catch of the game for him there. Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right, safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver. Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause. Now a 2nd down throw for Mariota. And he'll hit his tight end, Walker. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good running back dive play.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. So out now come the Redskins. So they've got the lead, and certainly So now we look at the Redskins offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical.
And that's caught inside the 35. A huge play there for Washington. 51 yards. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. To throw on second down is Smith. Rolling to his right, and he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. They need to reverse the trend. The last two plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. From the gun, here's Smith. Being chased out left. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And Hopkins' kick is good. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And Delaney Walker now getting set to go again. All right, Charles Davis, what do we make of these numbers and what's happened to the big tight end here?
Well, I think a lot of times we talk so much about adjustments and what you're going to do at halftime that maybe we miss what actually goes on. Because the sense is that, oh, they're going into half, they just change everything. That's not really true. A Super Bowl winning quarterback out of New York always used to say, you've worked all week on a game plan. There's a reason you have it. Just either play it better or make subtle tweaks to it. Otherwise, there's no sense even going into a ball game. A lot of times that's what they do. Just find a little subtle thing, one little change, and maybe you can make things a little bit better.
Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete.
You got to give some credit there, able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, you know, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
On second down, here's Smith. He's going to go for a big play downfield. This is intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. So if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job. Finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
That hurts. If it was running into the kicker, wouldn't be a first down. Roughing, it is a first.
And just think about the differences between the two. Running into the kicker almost feels inadvertent, just a small tap, so to speak. But when you rough him, usually bodies are hitting the ground and flying all different places. And the difference is 5 yards or 15. And in this case, that's a big play.
It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Mariota now. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held him in check on the scoreboard. And he's got a man, Corey Davis. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
They roll, and this is Lewis. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 11 more on that one and another first down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field, down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack.
Back now in Nashville. It's Titan football here as they trail to begin the 4th quarter. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Working out of the gun, Mariota. He will find Davis on the left side, complete. And they do get him down, but not before he reaches the 4-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
Here's Mariota. And that is caught by Davis for a Tennessee touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Titans have made this a 1-score game. And man, Charles, talking about zinging something in there. Those gloves, they help with one-handed catches, the fun stuff. Any padding for a rocket like that?
One would think so, but I'll guarantee you this. After that throw, his hands will hurt later. Not right now in the moment. He's just feeling good about catching it.
Yeah, a little stinger, but a touchdown. On the return, here's Justin Hardy. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. And he's brought down after a good yards on the pickup there and a first.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. This is caught. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. On the ground, Geis. And the avenue collapsed for him as he's going to be held up short of the goal line. They hold him again, and now all of a sudden it's 3rd and goal at the 1. This is Geis. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal. Here we go with Geis. And he's not going to get there. Might have even lost a yard. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the Titans defense will celebrate the goal line stand. Boy, you talk about not playing it safe. Why were they going for it there, Charles?
It's got to be a full evaluation of their team. Do they trust their defense in this situation? Maybe they think they've given all they can in this game and they don't have anything left. Do they not trust that the other team's quarterback is just so hot that no matter where they get the ball, they go downfield? Remember when Bill Belichick went for it in that game, right, against Indianapolis on the road? And everybody said, why'd you go for it there? I think he just thought to himself, on the other side, if they hit the ball, they're going downfield anyway. He was trying to end the game right there with his own offense.
That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a first down to boot. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it.
Try to force it to his tight end, Walker, and it's intercepted. Monte Nicholson picks it, and he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And quickly they get to the line. Off of play action. Here's Smith. Escapes the sack. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. Daquan Jones in there to drop him for a loss on the play. Throwing on 3rd down. Smith steps away to his left. And the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now, because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. From the gun, Mariota going underneath for Lewis. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1. Back to throw. And Davis has it over the middle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a 1st down. Clock running, about to hit 90 seconds to go in the game. They'll look to throw. That's complete to Sharp. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. Titans moving quickly here. They're in the hurry up. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now, before they run this 4th down play, we're going to get a timeout as they stop it here with 1:07 remaining. He's back to throw. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down. And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, I've seen, you and I both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation. And defensively, a dime look here. 6 DBs on 3rd and 12. No surprise at all. They'll go ahead and take the knee here, and the unbeaten season will continue. Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they? I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing. You take it and you run with it. And you know you prime the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done. So for Washington, they're now a win away from a perfect regular season as they move to 15-0. And they'll return home next week to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for the